This conference will now be recorded.
So in today's session, we are going to discuss about approval process. So we'll see what exactly the approval process, how to configure the approvals in Salesforce, and how a person can approve or reject the records in Salesforce. And how can we track the status of each and every records approval, and how can we approve the records through emails also without using Salesforce instance, just by using some email notifications. How can we approve the records? We'll see now. So in this case today we see how can we configure the approval processes in Salesforce. Now, so nowadays wherever we go, everywhere we are using approvals. Suppose for example, if you are in your home, if you are a student or if you are a kid, if you want to do anything, if you want to buy anything, then first of all we require the approvals of our parents. If you are a married person, then we need an approval from the other people, like as from your spouse. We need that approval. So whenever you are working in your organization, if you want to do any task, then you need the approval of your manager or your client or your technical lead. And whenever if you need any leave, then you need the approval of your manager. Whenever you are submitting the timesheets inside your organization every weekend, that timesheet has to be get approved by your manager. Whenever you are raising any reimbursements to claim something, okay, to claim something, at that time it requires your manager's approval. That means what? Wherever you go, approval process is a common thing everywhere. Then how can we submit the records and how the people can approve that, or they can reject also? Okay, how the people can approve, how the people can reject. So let's see practically in this case. In this case, how can we configure the approvals inside your Salesforce instance? Now let's see practically how your record can be get approved or rejected in Salesforce. We'll see practically in this case. Now, let's see. As part of Salesforce, Salesforce has given so many features to us, which we can automate. Like in the previous sessions, we have discussed about the security. As part of security, we have created so many users also. One user is a subordinate, second user is a superior, like as a manager. So whenever the subordinate is going to be raising any applications, it may be leave, it may be timesheet, it may be claim reimbursement or whatever. So everything should be required the approval of their manager. The manager has to take the decision. Either he can approve or reject, whatever it may be, anything. Now, so in this case, how can we configure the approval process in Salesforce? So now let's see practically in this case. So as part of Salesforce, approval process defines a sequence of steps to be used to approve the records in Salesforce. In Salesforce, not only creating the records, once the record has been submitted, once the record has been created, sometimes it may require approval from the superiors also, managers also, upper level role people as well. Then in this case, how can we configure the role hire? How can we configure the approval process in Salesforce where one person, the subordinate person, can submit that records and the other people can take the decision to approve or to reject that record. So in order to take the decision, in order to configure the feature to approve the records in Salesforce, we are using approval process. Then how can we configure the approval process in Salesforce? Now let's see practically. How can we configure it? Now let me show you practically. And then whenever we are submitting that record for the approval, then we can track the status also, and along with that, how the people can approve the record by using the email notifications also. We'll see practically today. Instead of approving the records by using Salesforce instance, how can we approve the records by using the email notifications also? I will show you practically. Now, suppose for example here, let's take a small use case. Assume that I have an account record. I have an account record. So upon creating this account record, I have entered the name value, rating value, industry value, annual revenue value, type value, phone value, fax value, the billing address value, shipping address value, active status value. Like that, we are entering the data in so many fields. We have so many fields are there inside my account object. So upon creating a new account record inside my object, we are entering the data in all these fields. In the name field, rating field, industry field, annual revenue, type, phone, fax, billing address, shipping address, in all these fields we are entering the data. So now, whenever I'm going to be creating a record inside my account object, okay, whenever I'm going to be creating the record inside my account object, then if the account's annual revenue, if the account records annual revenue is more than 50,000, is more than 50,000, then it requires the approval. It requires approval from the manager. From the manager in the sense from the training batch user. That means it has to send to that respective person for the approval. Like for example, whenever you are purchasing any product, for example, I'm a salesperson. Okay, I'm a salesperson. So now, for example, here I'm a salesperson, and then we have my manager. I'm having my manager, like as Satish. Satish is my manager, nothing but he is my sales manager. I'm a sales representative. Today, I'm contacting a lead person. Okay, today I'm contacting a lead person because that lead person showed interest in our products or services. So as a sales representative, it is my responsibility that I need to contact the lead person, and then I have to follow up with that person multiple times. If required, I need to offer some discounts, and finally I have to convince the people to buy my products. It's my daily responsibility. It's my job. As a salesperson, it's my job. I need to convince the people to buy my product. So in this case, as per my job, as per my regular activities, today I have contacted a lead person, and then I have explained the whole information about the product. and then the person is almost okay to buy the product, but the condition is he will ready to buy the product if I'm offering 10% discount. If I'm ready to offer 10% discount, then the lead person is ready to buy my product. That means he is expecting 10% discount on that amount. Whatever the price is there for that product, so he is expecting 10% discount on that. If I'm offering discount, then he is ready to buy. So, but in this case, I have explained to the person, boss, I'm not able to offer 10% of discount. So I will offer 5% discount to you because it's my hand. Okay, it's in my hand that I can offer 5% discount. Because I'm not the decision maker. I can't take the decisions by my own. So because I'm responsible to a person, I need to report to my sales manager. Because Satish is my sales manager, by end of the day, I have to report to Satish. So in this case here, already I have explained to the lead person, boss, I'm ready to offer 5% discount because that is in my hand. If you want more than 5% discount, then I need my manager's approval. I have to contact my manager Satish, and then I have to explain the situation, and then I need the approval of my manager. Because I need to get the approval, because I'm not the decision maker, I can't take the decision by my own. I need the approval of my manager. My manager is okay, then fine with me, no problem. So in this case, what happened here also, if the annual revenue is more than 50,000, then it requires approval from the training batch user. Then how can we do this one here? So I need to submit the record for the approvals. Then how can we submit the record for the approval? Previously, so on each and every records a detail page. Like for example, when you go to your account record detail page, once approvals has been getting configured, so whenever if you want to submit the record for the approval, then here on your records a detail page, you will be having one more additional button that is called as submit for approval. That means manually we have to submit the record for the approval, so that the record will go to that respective manager, and then he can able to take the decision to approve or reject that record. So, but in this case, what happened here? So it is providing a button called a submit for approval button on the records detail page. So by click on this button control, we can submit this record for the approval. But in this case, the problem is, if you want to submit this record for the approval, you have to open this record first, come to the detail page, click on submit for approvals button, then record will be submitting for the approval. If you want to submit 10 records for the approval, then we have to open every record, click on submit for approval button in order to submit the record for the approvals. So in this case, if very less number of records to be get submitting for the approval, then it's fine, no problem for me. Because every record I will open manually, and then I will click on the button submit for approval, so that we can submit the record for the approval process, so that the manager can take the decision either to approve or reject. But if I'm having some thousands of records, a lakhs of records, then how can we submit this record for the approval? So in this case, I don't want to submit the record for the approval manually. I want an automated process. Okay, I want an automated process. So what is that automated process over here? Whenever if I'm creating an account record or if I'm updating an account record, so at that time, if the account's annual revenue value is more than 50,000, automatically this record should go for the approvals. Automatically, this record should go for the approval. I won't submit the record manually for the approval. It should go automatically for the approval. I want an automatic approval process option. So I want an automated option in order to submit the record for the approval. Then how can we do this? Now let's see practically in this case. Now, so let me explain this concept over here. How can we create this approval process, and how can we submit for the approval, and how the person can able to take the decision to either approve or reject that record. Now, So now let's see how can we configure this approval process in Salesforce. Now let's see practically this case. Now, so now here in this case. So let's take that small use case. Now, configure an approval process to auto submit the account record approval to the training batch user if the account records revenue is more than 50,000. If the account records annual revenue is more than 50,000, I want to submit this record for the approvals. Then how can we do this one? Now let's see practically in this case. Now, so now here in this case, I will show you how can we submit the records automatically for the approval. For that one, I will take a different feature over there. That is called as process builder. Through process builder, I want to submit the record automatically. I will show you both the concepts, both the processes I will show you practically. Now, then how can we configure this approval process? Now let's see practically. Now, for example, assume that today I have submitted a loan application, a personal loan application. Now tell me, whenever I'm submitting the personal loan application to take some personal loan of some 5 lakhs rupees, so directly your loan will be getting dismissed? No, right? Yes, because it requires approval of the branch manager. It requires the approval of the branch manager. How? So now the branch manager will verify whether this particular person is our customer or not. If he is our customer, then since how long time he is utilizing our accounts, and what type of account he is using right now. So whether he is having any loans available with the other branches or not, other banks or not. So now if yes, then what about the EMIs? Whether he is paying the EMI on time or not. Whether any pending loans are available or not. Whether any bankruptcy is available or not. So what is the CIBIL score of this person? So what is the credibility of this person? They will verify all the things. Based on that, they will take the decision whether they can approve the loan or reject the loan. So whenever you are applying for the loan, there is a minimum criteria is there. The loan amount should be minimum like some 10,000 to maximum some 10-15 lakhs, not more than that. If it is a personal loan, a different criteria is available. If it is a home loan, different criteria. Like for the personal loan, maximum amount will be like as 15 lakhs. And the maximum time period will be 5 years, not more than that. Minimum loan amount will be the 50,000 to maximum loan amount will be 15 lakhs and the time period will be 5 years. If it is a home loan, then minimum amount and the maximum amount will be different and then time period also different, like as 20 years, 25 years also we can make it as a time period as well. The processes are completely different, depends upon the loan type. Okay, the processes are completely different. In this case here, how can we configure? Now for example, today I have submitted for that personal loan application. I have given that loan amount as 5 lakhs. Now, today night, I have changed the decision. Today morning, I have applied for the loan, and then today night, I have changed the decision. I want to increase that amount. Instead of 5, I want to increase to 7. Can you make the changes here? No. Once a loan application has been submitted, then automatically record will go into the read-only state. You can't modify that record again. Until what? Until your Manager will take the decision. He may approve, he may reject. Till that time, you can't modify that. Record will be getting locked. Then what is my status of my loan application? Submitted, just have submitted. That is in pending status at that manager level. So now the next approver is manager. It is pending at the manager level. So manager person has to approve it. So like the similar way here also, we need to track the status. What is the status of my loan application here? From submitting onwards till the approval or the reject, we can able to track the status also. What exactly the status of my loan application is in pending. If it is in pending, then where it is pending here. If it is rejected, then who has rejected. If it is approved, who has approved. Everything we can able to cross-check that. So in this case, in order to know the status of my loan application form, I would like to create a field inside this. Now, I want to create a field inside my account object with the name, okay, the approval status. I would like to create a field over here. I'm creating a new field inside my object, which is a pick list. I'm indicating like as approval status. Here I'm indicating that. What is the status? Initially, this will be submitted and then approved, rejected. These are the three options will be available as part of my pick list. In order to know what is the current status of my loan application or my account records approval, okay, I'm going to be creating one additional field which will be clearly indicating what is the current status of my records approval. Whether it is in pending state, whether it has been submitted or approved or rejected or what, I need to know that. So for that one, I'm creating a field called as approval status, which is of type pick list, where I'm going to be adding the three options: submitted, approved, and rejected. Now, click on next button. So make the field to be get visible to all the profile users by selecting the visible checkbox. Click on save. So my field is available. When I go to my account, upon click on this new button, I will be having this option over here. So I'm having this option over here, approval status. These are the three options are available: submitted, approved, and rejected. Now I want to configure the approval process. How to configure this approval process? Now let's see practically. My use case is configure an approval process to auto submit the account record for the approval to the training batch user if the account record's annual revenue is more than 50,000. If the account record, whenever I'm creating the account record or whenever I'm updating the account record, if the account record's annual revenue value is more than 50,000, automatically it has to go for the approval. Then how can we do that? Now let's see. In order to create that approval, as a step one, I have created that. Step one, create a field, approval status. So what type of field it is? It is a pick list field. With the LOBs, submitted, approved, rejected. These are the three options. As a step one. As a step two, create an approval process and account object. And account object. So now here I would like to indicate that where is this approval process option? We have to go to the setup menu, go to the build menu, go to the create menu, workflows, and approvals. Inside that you are having that option called as approval process. This is the navigation. We have to go with this navigation. So in order to create that approval process, we have to go with this navigation. Now, so now let's see practically in this case. How can we submit the record for the approval and how can we configure this approval process right now? Now, so now let's see how can we configure this one. So let's create the approval process. Go to the setup menu. Go to the build menu in the left panel. Click on create. Go to the workflows and approvals. Click on approval processes. Click on this option, approval processes. So now select the object for which you would like to create the approval process. Okay, we have to select the object name. Here it is indicating a pick list. So select the object name on which you want to create the approval. That means here what object records you want to submit for the approval. So select that object name. So now the object name is account. So now it is asking you to create the approval process. So whenever we are creating the approval process, we have two ways available. First one, standard wizard. Second one, jumpstart wizard. Jumpstart wizard will be giving all the options to you ready-madely inbuilt to configure your approvals. In order to submit the record for the approvals, whatever the features are required, all the features will be available to you inbuilt. That facility will be available to you. Now, so now we are having these two options are available to create these approval processes. The first one is the standard setup wizard. Second one is a jumpstart wizard. Now, So now let's see how can we configure this approval process by using Jumpstart Wizard. Because Jumpstart Wizard will be very easy to configure so that we no need to have any additional things. Now, so now go to this create new approval process and then select the option here. We will be having two options. Use the standard setup wizard, second one Jumpstart Wizard. Why? Because is in that approval, what are the steps are there? Steps means what? So now whenever the record has been approved, what actions needs to be get taken? Whenever the record has been rejected, what actions needs to be get taken? So that here, those actions we need to configure manually. But when you go to the Jumpstart Wizard, everything will be given by Salesforce automatically by default for you. So that select that option, use Jumpstart Wizard. Now, specify that approval process name. Okay, approval process name, I'm indicating that CIS new customer approval process. CIS new customer approval process. Approval assignment email template. That means what? Whenever a new record has been approved, okay, whenever a new record has been assigned to the person for the approval, if you want to send any email notification, then we can able to select that email template. So which email template you would like to use to send the email notification to the people? Like for example, whenever I'm going to submitting a loan application form, immediately you will be receiving the email notification, right? Yes. So immediately we are receiving this email notification that your loan application has been submitted successfully, and then your record has been sent for that approvals, and then the manager will take the respective decision. Or your record is in under process, or your application is under process. You will be getting some confirmation. So for that one, if you want to send any email notification, then we can able to select that email template, which template you would like to use to send the email notification. Now, so here you will be having one more option is available. Okay, this is the button. It is indicating this option. Add the submit for approval button. Okay, this is the information that's just now already have given this information. Add the submit for approval button and approval history related list, okay, to all account page layouts. That means what? For that account records on the page layout, you want me to add that approval history related list, and the submit for approval button should be get added or not. Because here when you go to this account record, on this account record along with this particular button controls, okay, along with this button controls like edit button, delete button, sharing button, include offline, you will be having that one more additional button called as submit for approval. Now, so now here in this case, so it will be having one more additional button, but I don't want to use that button to submit that record manually here. I don't want to submit the record manually. So now here I would like to make this process as automated. For that one here, I don't want to add this button. So unselect this checkbox. If you want to submit the record manually, then you can make it the checkbox to be get selected as it is. Now, so what is the approval criteria? Nothing but here when the record should go for the approval. So now whenever you are going to be approving, whenever you are submitting the record for the loan, then there is some specific conditions are available. So loan amount should be minimum 50,000 to maximum 15 lakhs, 15 lakhs. So, but in this case, what happened? For example, today a person is applying for the personal loan, which is for some 10,000. But the minimum loan amount should be 50,000, 50,000. But if the person is applying for that 10,000 as a personal loan, then the bank won't take that. The record will not created. The application will not be submitted. The record will not go for the approval. So here also we have to check the condition. What conditions needs to be get verified before submitting the record for the approval? Before submitting the record for the approval, what kind of conditions needs to be get verified? Now, so now in this case, I would like to check the minimum criteria. What is the criteria over here? Upon creating this account record, if the account record's annual revenue is more than 50,000, it should go for the approvals here. So I'm specifying this entry criteria. Specify that value. If the account record's annual revenue value is greater than some 50,000. If the account records annual revenue value is greater than 50,000, then I want to submit this record for the approval over here automatically. Then who will be your approver? We can decide that. Select the approver. Who will be your approver? In this case, we have three options are available. The first option is let the submitter choose the approver manual. That means whenever you are going to be submitting the record for the approval, then you will be getting prompted to select the approver. Who will be the approver? Who is the person is going to approve your record? We can select that person information. Now, second option, automatically assign an approver using standard or custom hierarchy field. That means based on your role hierarchy, who will be your manager is there, that manager is going to be adding as an approver. Okay, so whatever the manager is available for your record, that person will be the approver here. In this case here, we can able to add these options. So now we can able to add, we'll be adding that approver automatically based on your role hierarchy. Okay, based on your role hierarchy, it is going to be adding that approver automatically by default. Now, so in this case here, what you can do in this case? You want me to add this approver manually, or you want to add this approver automatically over here? So now at that time, depends upon your requirement, we can able to select this option. Okay, depends upon your requirement, we can able to select these options also. That possibility will be available. Now, so upon submitting the record, we can select the approver, or else based on your role hierarchy, we can able to make that Salesforce can decide the approver automatically. Second one, automatically assign to approve. That means if you are having any standard person is there to whom you want to submit the record for the approval, so then we can able to select this one. So now here in this case, I'm going to selecting the person. Who is that person for the approval? I'm going to selecting a person called as training batch user will be the approver. I'm selecting the person called as training batch user will be approver. Now, so now in this case, I'm selecting the entry criteria. Along with that, I'm selecting the approver. Who will be the approver of your record? Now click on save button. Now specify the entry criteria actions. What kind of actions you want me to do? View approval process design. So here you will be having the sections are available. What actions you want me to take? Initial submission action. What is the initial submission action? Whenever you are submitting the record for the approval, then what will be the record status? The record status, my application status will be simply submitted. Okay, my record initial submission status will be submitted. Now, in this case, what needs to be done? Initial submission actions. Okay, initial submission action. Whenever the record has been submitted initially for the approval, then the record will be getting locked. Okay, the record will be getting locked by Salesforce automatically. And then what will be the status? How can we inform to that customer, boss, what is your approval status? How can we inform? Here I want to indicate the status as submitted. Boss, your record has been submitted for approval over here. So now in this case here, what we can do? I want to change the status to submitted. Then how can we do that? Now let's see. No. So now I would like to indicate that the status would be indicating as submitted. For that reason, go to that initial submission actions. Here I would like to add a new action. That means what? My record will be getting locked automatically, and then I want to change the status to submitted. For that reason, I'm going to be indicating that an action type called as field update. So now here I'm going to be indicating that I want to change that approval status field value as updated. So now initially the value is empty. I want to make it as submitted. Then how can we do that? Now let's see. I want to use an action type called as field update. Okay. I want to use an action type called as field update. With the help of this field update action, I would like to change the status over here. So once the record has been submitted, I want to indicate that tracking status as submitted. That means, dear customer, your application, your customer record has been submitted successfully. So go to the field update, specify that option over here. Change the customer status to submitted. So now here I'm indicating that the customer approval status. Approval status to submitted. So field to update. What field you want to update over here? I want to update the field called as approval status field. When you come down, we have a field called as approval status field. With which value you want to update, I want to select the value over here. A specific value I want to select. What is that option? Submitted. Okay, I'm selecting the option like a submitted. So I want to change the status automatically. Okay, I want to change the status automatically to be indicating as submitted. Now click on save. So that means what? As soon as whenever the record has been submitted, that means initial submission action. That means as soon as whenever you are submitting the record for the approval, so now what will be the status you want me to assign? We can able to indicate this. So my record should be get locked. Nothing but the person should not be able to edit the record. As a manager, as an approver, I will be having the right to take the decision that I can able to modify, I can able to remove this record, I can able to reject, or I can able to approve that. Suppose if we need any more more values, then I will make the record to be editable. That means I will unlock the record. I will inform to the customer, boss, please enter these values also. So based on that, I will take the decision like that. Now, after that, we can specify the final approval status. That means whenever the record has been approved, then what you want me to do? I want to change the status to approved. That means here I would like to indicate the status to approved. That means your record has been approved over here. Like that. For that one, go to the final approval action. Now I want to change the status to approved, so that I'm using an action type called as field update. So now change approval status to approved. Change the approval status to approved. So now field to update. Which field you would like to update right now? I want to update the same field that is called as approval status field. So that field I would like to update with a value called as approved. Okay, approved. Now click on save button. Now click on save button. So now I want to specify that final rejection action. That means whenever if the record has been rejected, then what will be the action you want me to take? You have to specify that. I want to change the status to rejected. Okay, I want to change the status to rejected. So that here I'm going to be updating that field value by using this field update action. So now here I'm indicating that status to rejected. Change the approval status to rejected. Which field value would like to update? I want to update the field value called as approval status field. And then I want to change the status to a specific value called as rejected. I'm going to change the status to rejected. Click on save. So now here I'm done with this one. Okay, I'm done with this one. So now here I have created this approval process over here. So initial submission action is, so as soon as whenever the record has been submitted, it will be locking the record automatically, and then it is going to changing that field values to nothing but approval status values to submitted. Once the record has been approved, then it is going to be locking that record over here, and then it's changing the status to okay approved. That means once the record has been approved, then we can't modify it again. Okay, once the record has been approved, then we can't modify those values again. And then once the record has been rejected also, then we can't modify that value again. So that here, if the record is rejected, then at that time record will be locking automatically, and then we are changing the status of that approval status fields to rejected. And then once approval process has been getting configured, then click on this activate button to make your approval process should be in active status. Click on activate button. Now your workflow approval process will be in active status. Now it is indicating the status as active status as tick mark, nothing but selected. So this approval process is in active status right now. Okay, now. So now here we are ready with that approval process right now. From now onwards, so I need to submit the record for the approval automatically. How can we submit the record for approval automatically now? So then how can we submit the record automatically for the approval? For that one, I would like to configure a process builder. Now, as a step 3, configure a process builder to submit the record for approval automatically. In order to submit the record for the approval automatically, so we are going to be indicating, we are going to be using a feature called as process builder. Through this process builder, I would like to submit the record for the approval automatically by default over here. Then how can we do that? Now let's see practically in this case. So I want to create a process builder in order to submit the record for the approval. So where is that process builder option? We have to go to the option called as setup menu. Go to the builder menu. Click on create. Workflows and approvals. Inside that we have an option called as process builder. We have an option called as process builder. Through this process builder, we can able to submit the record automatically, because as part of process builder, we have a ready-made action called as submit for approval. That means we can able to submit a record for the approval process also through the process builder. There is a possibilities available. Now, so for that one, so now here in this case, how can we submit this record for the approval right now automatically? Now, so let me configure a process builder. So let's go to that build menu, click on create workflows and approvals, and you will be having an option called as process builder option. Click on this process builder. So basically process builder is a ready-made tool. A process builder is a ready-made tool which is used to submit the record for the approval and to perform some actions automatically. Okay, to perform some actions automatically, we are using this process builder tool. Now, so now create a new process here. In order to submit the record for the approval, click on new button. Specify that process name. I am going to be indicating the process name as new customer record approval process. I'm giving the description as new customer record approval process. So now the process will start whenever a record is created or whenever the record is updated. So that here I'm indicating a record changes. Okay, I'm selecting the option, a record changes. Whenever a record has been changes, that means it may be created, it may be updated automatically. So now my record will go for the approval. Click on save button. Now it is providing the graphical representation form to you in order to configure your process. It's like as a flow chart kind of representational tool. So where we can select the object, on which object we would like to create the process. I want to create the process on account object over here. So select that object name. So select the object name as account object. I'm creating the approval process on account object here. So when you want to submit the record for the approval, only when a record is created or when a record is created or edited. I want to select the second one. Whenever the record is modified also, then I want to submit the record for the approval. If the record is meeting the criteria, if the record's annual revenue value is more than 50,000, I want to submit the record for the approval. So click on save button. And the criteria, what is the condition over here? I want to check the annual revenue. Check for the annual revenue. Check for the annual revenue. I'm going to be indicating the annual revenue value. So what is that annual revenue value? I want to indicate that if the account records annual revenue value. If the account records annual revenue value is greater than, okay, greater than the currency value 50,000. Okay, so if the value is greater than 50,000 over here. And I want to check one more condition. What is that condition? If the account record is active status. If the account record's active status is equals to yes. That means what? If the account record is an active record, and then that too, if the account record's annual revenue value is greater than 50,000, then I want to submit this record for the approval. So these are the two conditions I would like to verify. So click on save. Then what will be the action you want me to take here? Because immediately I want to send that record for the approval. Already approval process we have configured. I want to submit this record for the approval. So add the immediate action over here. Click on add action. What is that action? It is indicating like as submit for approval. There is an action type called as submit for approval. I want to submit the record for the approval here. So action name I'm indicating. Submit the account record for approval. You can give any name over here. And then what is the approval process? Okay, what is the approval process here? So now which process you would like to use right now? You need to indicate that. Specific approval process, nothing but already we have created my own approval process over here. Select that approval process name. So what is that approval process name? I'm indicating like as CIS new customer approval process. So it is indicating the name over here. Select that option CIS, new customer approval process, and then now select the submitter. Submitter is we are going to be indicating that a user. Who is that user? Training batch user. Training batch user will be the submitter will be the current user. Submitter will be the current user over here. Okay. Now, so now here I'm indicating the submitter will be the current user, nothing but the person who is creating the record, that person will be the submitter. Now click on save. So now once the record has been nothing but once the process is ready, that means what? On the account object I'm creating a process, so which will be verifying the two conditions: if the account records annual revenue value is greater than 50,000 or not. If yes, then along with that, if the account record is in active status, then I want to submit the record for the approval. Now, so now click on activate. I want to make this process to be activated so that whenever I'm creating a record, whenever I'm updating the record, my process will be in active status, which will verify the conditions. If the record is meeting the condition, it will send the record for that approval automatically. Then my approval process is going to be sending the record to the approver, okay, for the approval decision. Now click on activate. Confirm. Done. So now my record has been, nothing, my process has been configured. Now let's go to the setup. Now I can test it. So from now onwards, whenever I'm creating a new account record, automatically record will be submitting for the approval over there. Now, so here's the training batch user. So the training batch user is going to be so now whenever the record has been submitted by any user, automatically the record will come to the training batch user, where the training batch user can see. So these are the records which are waiting for his approval. Whenever a person has submitted the record, then where these submitted records can be visible, where that manager can see. So for that one, training batch user will go to the home page. When you go to the home tab, in this home tab, we have a section called as items to approve. There is an option, there is a section called as items to approve section. In this items to approve section, all the items, all the records will be getting visible, which are waiting for his approval. So whatever the records are there in Salesforce, which are waiting for the approval of this manager, all these records you can able to see inside this section, items to approve. From there, he can take the decision whether the record can be approved or rejected. Now, so now let's go to that account object. So here we are having only simply account record information is there. I want to see, okay, I want to see the approval history also over here. So for that one, I'm going to be adding the related list. Click on edit layout. And then add that related list for that approval history. When you go to the related list section, select the option related list. You will be having an option called as related list called as approval history. So we can able to see the history of the approval. That means whether the record has been approved or rejected or pending or what. What is the status of my record's approval? So we can verify by using this approval history related list. Now click on save. Now, so now my record is available. Currently approval history is empty. So from here we can able to see that here. Now, so now here in this case I would like to configure. When you go to this items to approve, for this person there is no records are waiting for his approval here. All the records are not visible. So that means records are not visible. That means here nothing is waiting for his approval. Now, so now let me create one account record here. I'm creating an account. New. I'm creating an account record with the name Samaditya Kumar. Account number, some value. Type some prospect. Industry, some banking. Annual revenue, some 7 lakhs, which is greater than 50,000. PAN number, I'm indicating some value. Rating value, I'm indicating as heart. Phone number, I'm entering some value. Fax number. Website, some Salesforce.com. Ownership, some public. And then primary customer priority is high. Active status, some yes. Now, so now here the annual revenue value is 7 lakhs, which is more than 50,000. So the record has been submitted for the approval. Now let's see how can we submit the record for the approval.
Now,
So now let me create the record for the approval right now. So I'm going to be creating the record right now. So as soon as whenever I'm creating this record, so it will be verifying the condition. It will check the two conditions. If the annual revenue is more than 50,000 and the account records active status is equals to yes, both are satisfying over here. So it will be submitting the record for approval automatically from now onwards. Click on save button. My record has been created successfully. Once the record has been created successfully, record will go to that approval. When you come down here, it is indicating that approval history. So now the approval request submitted. Okay, who is the submitter? Submitter is nothing but submitted by so-and-so person over here. So now on so-and-so date and so-and-so time, the record has been submitted. So now it is going to pending for the approval over here. That means the record is in pending status. It is indicating overall status is pending status over here. That means the record is in pending status, which is waiting for the approval. The approver haven't taken any decision right now. Still the record is waiting for the approval. So it is indicating the overall status over here. So who is the approver right now? It is indicating clearly. So now pending for approval. Who is that assigned to? Nothing but who is the actual approver? This is the person over here. Who is the approver over here? So my record is waiting for the approval of this particular person over here. We can able to track this. The whole history we can able to track this person over here. Like whenever you are using any product through Amazon or through Flipkart, you will be having some tracking options, right, where the item is available. So now here everything we can able to track. Like the similar way here we can able to track the history of my records approval process. Okay, now the record has been locked. The user can't modify this record value. The record has been locked. That's what here it is going to be indicating this. This is the lock symbol. The record has been locked. Now the manager can able to take the decision. That means the training batch user will go to the home tab. When you come down items to approve section, he will be able to see one option over here. So one record is waiting for the approval related to the Aditya Kumar. So one of the person, he has submitted the timesheet. So this particular timesheet is waiting for his approval. Now, so this record is waiting for his approval over here. Then how can we do this one? So now as a training batch user, okay, for example, assume that I'm the training batch user, I would like to approve this one. So simply click on this approve button. You will be having the option called as approve or reject. Then click on this link. Now it is asking you to select that option, what you want to do. So now you want to approve or you want to reject. Depends upon your requirement. If you want to approve this record, then you click on approve. If you want to reject that one, you can click on reject over here. Upon approving that, upon rejecting that, if you want to give any comment, then you can specify the comment why you are rejecting that. Because so many loans are pending, or your CIBIL score is very less, or already you have applied for a loan also, or else you did not make the payment also, or your documents are not correct also, whatever, you can specify that. Okay, or already some loans are outstandings are available, like that you can able to give that comment also over here. Okay, this is how the approval process will work basically. Even though whenever you are submitting that loan application form also, whenever you are submitting the timesheet also, whenever you are submitting for a leave also, it may be anything. So now automatically it will go for the manager for the approval. The manager will cross check this one, he can able to take the decision to approve or reject. I'm going to be indicating approve over here. Now, all the values looks fine for me. Hence approve. So that I'm approving this one. Click on approve. The record has been approved over here. So now it is indicating when you come down, we can able to see that status over here, it is indicating that the green color tick mark is available. Okay, approved. Previously it is indicating orange color symbol, which will be describing that record is in pending status. Now it is with green color, which is indicating this is approved. Record has been approved. Like the similar way, so we can able to take the decision to reject that record also. So that possibility is available. This is how we can able to submit the record for the approvals automatically. Previously, the people used to click on the button submit for approval manually on each and every record separately. But now I don't want to do that. Everything I want to make it automated. Whenever I'm creating the record, if the record is meeting the criteria, send for approval automatically. Then manager will take the decision over there. Now, so in this case here, we can able to configure this approval process. Now, here there is a small point, let me explain. So for example, I am the manager. In my team, we have 5 people are there. Every week they're submitting the timesheet on Friday. So whenever they're submitting the timesheet by Friday evening at 6 o'clock, then I will be receiving the timesheet immediately. And then I have to approve the timesheets by night 8 o'clock. Nothing but 6 to 8 o'clock, 2 hours of time is there for me to approve all these timesheets. Then the finance people will collect all the timesheets. They will do the calculation. They will submit this timesheet to the client. So the client will be verifying that and he will be releasing the budget to my company. This is the process. So now in this case, what will happen? So now every week, so Friday, all the developers will be submitting the timesheets to me by 6 o'clock evening. That is the target time. So and from there onwards, my work will start. Nothing but I need to approve those things. By what time? 6 to 8 o'clock. Within 2 hours, I need to complete that approval process. I need to approve it. So now assume that today is a Friday. I'm in vacation. As a manager, I'm in a vacation. I don't have access to Salesforce. If I want to approve, then what we can do? I have to log in into my Salesforce. Go to the home tab. Go to that items to approve section, open every record, click on approve, click on approve, click on approve, like that. But today I'm in vacation. Okay, today I'm in a vacation. Today I'm in a vacation. I don't have the access to that Salesforce instance. So then how can we approve this? Today the time is now 7 o'clock. All my developers, team members have submitted the timesheets. I need to approve within 1 hour. How? I'm in a vacation. I'm out of state. I'm out of city. But I'm unable to access the Salesforce application from outside. Then what we can do? So in this case, through email also you can approve. You can take the decision through email also. Then how can we do that now? Let's see. In this case, upon configuring this approval process itself, in that approval process, you have to enable this option. Let's go to your approval process which you have configured. Go to the approval process, open it. This is the approval process. Open this approval process. Sorry. Now here you will be having process automation settings. Process automation settings. Here we will be having that. Inside this particular workflows and approvals, we have an option called as process automation settings. Inside this process automation settings, you will be having an option called as enable email approval response. There is a checkbox is available. There is a checkbox is available. Select this checkbox. Enable email approval. That means here through emails also you can able to approve. Now, so now I'm selecting this checkbox over here. Now click on save. So from now onwards, whenever he is going to be submitting the record for the approval, automatically as a manager, I will be receiving one email notification. I will be receiving one email notification. Before that, let me log in. As a training batch user, I'm having my email ID here. Upon creating this Salesforce account, I have given the email ID. This is the email ID I have given over here. Now, so now from now onwards, whenever I'm submitting, whenever a person is submitting the record, automatically it will be going for the approval. Let's see. I'm creating a record. I'm creating a record with the name some Sai Mohan. Account number some 3377. Type some installation partner. Industry some finance. Annual revenue some 65,000. PAN number I'm giving some value. And then rating value I'm indicating some heart. Phone number I'm giving some value. Fax number I'm giving some value. Website I'm indicating like a some market.com. Ownership some public. Priority some high. Active status yes. So upon creating my account record, okay, upon creating my account record, my active status is yes, and then annual revenue value is more than 50,000. Current value is 65,000. That means more than 50,000. So it will go for the approval. As soon as once you click on the person has been submitted, so now it will be submitting the record for the approval, and then immediately, so now we'll be receiving an email notification. As a manager, we'll be receiving the email notification because I don't have the access to the Salesforce over here. So if you want to approve this one without logging into the Salesforce application, if you want to approve this one, just give the reply over here. So now reply this one. If you want to approve, then submit this reply. That means just give the reply to this particular email. In that email, the first line will be having the word either approve or approved or yes. If you're giving any one of this word in the first line of your reply email, if you're giving either approve or approved or yes, it will be submitting, it will be indicating that record will be getting approved. Suppose if you want to reject that record through email, then just give the reply. In that reply, we have to submit the value reject or rejected or no. These three words, any one of these words should be in the first line. So now I want to approve that record here. So that simply click on that reply. In that reply email, you have to give any one of this word, approve or approved or yes. I'm indicating over here. Approve. Okay, approve. After that, you can type any information, whatever you want over here. Now, so now here I'm indicating approve. Click on submit, then automatically record will be getting approved over there. Let's go to the record over there. Sai Mohan record. Okay, still it is indicating like as the pending status. It will take some time to approve this one. Let's refresh this user interface. Still it is showing like as pending. Now it is indicating like as approved. The record is in approved status. Nothing but instead of using Salesforce instance also, just by using that email notification also we can able to approve. Now, so now just by using that email notifications also we can able to approve the records. This is how we need to configure the approval process in Salesforce. We can able to approve the records, okay, manually also by logging into Salesforce or by using the email notifications also. Through emails also we can able to approve it. And that too we can able to submit the record automatically, okay, for the approval process. Okay, this is the concept of approval process in Salesforce. Okay.